Fortunately, there was one big game in England to keep us going. That's Arsenal against Liverpool. This was box office, and Jules, those first 45 minutes, I thought Arsenal absolutely ragdolled Liverpool.
Yeah.
And then obviously we'll get to the second half. But just tell me, you were there. What were Arsenal doing different? Is it because, hey, look, Kai Havertz is there up front, Georgie, the double pivot, and so things are actually working. And so when you press and then you win the ball back, you can actually retain it. And was it?
Yeah, a lot of things worked really well in that first half. I thought they pressed really, really well and counter-pressed really well and put Liverpool under so much pressure. I think the double pivot, Jorginho, Declan Rice, worked perfectly.
It's amazing when you're somebody in front of the back four who can actually pass in traffic, get the ball in the half turn.
Yeah, but he didn't even have so much to do that because they were just always in the Liverpool half pretty much. And Liverpool had nothing. It was strange to see them being so inefficient in a lot of things that they did. And Arsenal, on the other hand, apart from scoring, of course, which is the big low point of the day, everything else was just so good. Everything they created, the way they moved the ball even as well. Some of the patterns of play that we saw were great, even on the throw-in on the right-hand side at some point with White and Odegaard. Twice in a row, actually, they did the same trick. So there was a lot of positives until they just could not put the ball in the back of the net, which
I was watching on television at one point. I think it was like minute 40 of the first half. It was 12 shots on goal for Arsenal, just one for Liverpool. After that, we had Trent Alexander, Arnold shot out of nothing, hitting the crossbar. Then the second half rolls around, and he tinkered a little bit with Nunez and Diaz and whatever, but we saw, I think, a very different Liverpool. We were talking off air before.
Yeah.
Well, Liverpool couldn't be any worse than they were in the first half.
Sure.
But whatever he said to them got them around, and they got back into this game. I'm talking about performance now, not chances, because in the end, let's face it, both teams had chances, right? In the end, the difference was made. The own goal by Kivior. It wouldn't have been a scandal, I think, if either team had won this game.
No, yeah. No, for sure. And for me, Jota was the game changer coming on. I think it was far too easy for Arsenal to defend for most of the game before Jota came on. Whether it was Nunez as a 9, then at halftime Klopp moved Gakpo as a 9 and put Elliott in midfield and Diaz on the right and Darwin on the left. And even if they were better in the start of the second half, it was still not very good, I thought, overall. But Jota is such an amazing player, I think. And maybe he was not fit enough to start the game. But when he came on, he made a big difference. And then,
do you think Jota can dunk?
I don't know, but he beat Saliba in the air on a corner.
He's got some hops.
But it's just everything is so good, and it must be so difficult for centre backs to defend against, especially big boys like Saliba and Gabriel, because he's just so smart and so quick thinking. All of that, I just thought it was brilliant, and I do think that Arsenal got frustrated and lost a little bit of even more sharpness as the game went on because you stay at 0-0, and when you are so dominant and you stay at 0-0 and you know that Liverpool are so good that they just need half a chance to score, which they did, then I think that gets into your head and your mind a little bit.
So my theme with Liverpool all season long has been they're getting results, but they're not playing well. They're not clicking. Performance matters.
Which was the case yesterday. Case on Sunday, same.
Well, the last couple of weeks they played much better. Sunday, I kind of feel like giving them a pass because, look, if we take a look at who's missing, right? They're missing half their starting defense, right?
Yeah.
Robertson or whoever you want. And Robertson's backup as well. They're missing their best defender, Virgil van Dijk. They're missing Szoboszlai, arguably their best midfielder. And they're missing their best player, perhaps, or in Mohamed Salah. They're also missing Wataru Endo, who I don't think's been great, but equally runs around and gives you that defensive base, more so than a McAllister who's back. So to adjust like that, I think you have to give them credit. And I think there's a point, and I'm imagining Klopp in the dressing room saying, I'm not going to do his accent, although I'm tempted, but telling them, guys, we've been rubbish, but look, God said we're still in this game. It's 0-0.
Completely.
We can't be this bad.
Exactly.
And the players respond to it. I do think switching Diaz and Nunez around and Gakpo, I think it certainly helped to give a different look, some different matchups. But in the end, and I hate to bring up belief, I think it was belief, no?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know if belief is wrong, but it's just that they know, they don't panic even when they're under pressure. They just know that at some point something is going to come their way. And there've been games where they didn't take them, but more often than not this season, they've just always taken their chances. It's really impressive to watch when you are at the stadium.
I don't like to take cup games as indicators of what may happen in the league, but I kind of feel on this occasion that I will. And we're going to get into the question of whether this game suggests that Liverpool might be favourites or have a higher chance of winning the league than maybe we thought before, given the way they came back into it.